5. You know what that means. Conference championships and states are looming in the distance. We have all of that information towards the tail end of this recap stream. But as usual, here on this very beautiful Friday evening, my name's Andy. Joined with me is RD Eli. How's your week been, bud?
It's been a good week. I actually was sick for a little bit, but I'm feeling a lot better now.
We missed you last week.
Yeah, but glad to be back in the office. Sorry you had to do the show by yourself last time, but, you know, I'm sure you handled it just fine. But, yeah, it's been a great week of games. It's getting kind of intense. I mean, we're getting to the point where some people are either going to qualify or they're not, so stakes are pretty high right now.
Yeah, you'll see that in the leaderboards once we start getting into the nit and the gritty as far as all of the 4 seasonal games are concerned. As per usual, we'll give you those updates for STEM and a lot of different fun games in between. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into it because, again, Conference Championships is looming in the distance. We want to make sure that you guys know where everybody does stand at the end of week number 5. We're going to be starting off things with Rocket League here just to be able to see where everybody is currently standing at. And you see that giant, blatant white line right underneath top 8. You want to make sure that you're at that line or above. That's where you can qualify for Conference Championships.
You're exactly right. And looking across the board, I mean, there's a lot of teams that are tied both on the line or right around the line. So this last week of competition going to be extremely important. Got to make sure you get as many dubs as possible and also just winning as many individual games as possible because a 3-0 could be the difference if you do end up in that tiebreaker situation.
Yeah, head-to-head, it's just about everything. You see everybody that's even in some semblance on or off the bubble, specifically looking for CMS. You have a multitude of teams that are 4-1. Same thing could be said for Sandhills. Havelock High School A are currently sitting outside the bubble, but depending on how week 6 does go for them, and that decisive 3-0 does come through comparatively to the ones on the inside of the bubble, we might see some things get shaken up. But all those permutations will be working out on the back end of things. Don't you worry, your pretty heads. We'll be letting you know what everything looks like come the conference championships. But we've got some clips to show you guys as well when it comes down to Rocket League. Had a lot of good matches, starting off here in the CMS region with Providence versus Audrey Kale.
Got, looks like Kizlock, first player they were taking a look at. And this is interesting. Looks like a potential Audrey Kell goal. We're on that right side of the map. And an own goal off the side of the opponent's car. That one feels bad.
You like re-centered it. You'll see it from a very crafty name called Open Net Suck. I agree. Always want to make sure that you have one in the goal at all times. But you want to make sure you're in a position to not do that. So third goal scored here for Audrey Kell. This is still game number 1 between these two.
Yeah, it feels bad if your clip's in that spot. He did position himself pretty well in most cases to stop that goal. It was just a perfectly placed angle. Let's see if Audrey Kell can make the damage even greater, but it looks like Providence with the chance to strike back here.
Oh, wonderful aerials coming through from Clips. Mailbox was almost in a position to maybe try to benefit from that centering that was coming through off of Clips acrobatics. Clips looking for a little bit of a steal midfield, just trying to keep it on the orange side of the field. You only have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to try to tie this game up.
By the way, shout out to Mailbox. I know this guy also plays on the Overwatch team, so multi-talented gamers abound here in the VESL League. But this is looking like pretty intense. I feel like Providence got to get something going here if they want to give themselves a chance.
They sure do. I'm about to have a little bit of a breakaway moment. The ball was over on the blue side of the field, but open nets do indeed suck. And, well, Mailbox going to be able to find that one in towards the back of the goal. It will go. And Providence finally getting themselves on the board. Now they only trail by 2.
Yeah, this was a quite intense matchup here, but we're going to another intense matchup, Esports Legends and Porter Ridge. Looks like a similar situation here. Stinky Bus, interesting tag. I respect it.
You went for Stinky Bus and not the Chow Kid.
I mean, they're both pretty good. Dark, though, going to be the one that scores first. I think this is the player that a lot of players in the league have been talking about. I believe he might be the highest ranked player in the league. So
I mean, did you just see that roof reset from the tires just to be able to get a second flip to kind of yeet it in towards the goal? Yeah, I remember seeing during the match chat for Porter Ridge that they said there was one matchup that they were trying to avoid, and they really wanted to avoid this one. Yeah, Esports Legends are really, really good at the game. Dark has been a phenomenal player for them all season long, but never look past about how good they are on a macro level. The Kachow Kid typically always the first on the defensive rotation. Stinky Bus trying to at least get towards midfield to help out Dark if he does not get the full breakaway play himself. And a nice little demo will come through onto Orby, who has been Porter Ridge's best player all year.
Okay. So far, both teams doing a good job of keeping this ball on, like, in the air for the most part to keep it out of their own goal. Looks like Dark now with an aerial touch. What does he have here? Clouds with the answer back. Sneaky Bus, of course, in position. Looking like he's trying to set up a teammate for a shot on goal. Won't need it, though. Might have got some help from the opposition on that play.
Yeah, and you'll see it from Sneaky Bus's perspective. Watch the way that he just climbs up high, goes for the soft touch on the tires. That just practically makes the ball drop dead with a little bit of forward momentum, and it was right in towards the defender's car. So that just gets bounced right back in towards the goal. Esports Legends were able to win versus Porter Ridge 3-0 as we now take a look at Rockingham County versus North Henderson.
North Henderson looking like they're playing from the computer lab with the tags they've got there. Love that. I mean, man, I wish we got to play video games at my school. These guys are so lucky, aren't they?
Well, at least for like a league, you know. I mean, I remember playing like H1 customs, like in the computer lab. Just
but you
like,
weren't supposed to.
I was not supposed to. No, I was supposed to be for musical production, and we were all sitting there playing H1.
There's good music in Halo 1.
Oh, it's across all the Halo games. So I know who I'm talking to. It's a very biased take, but this is game number 3 between Rockingham and North Henderson, and probably a very close series between the two of them, albeit Rockingham are leading 2-0. 15 seconds remain here. One good goal will end up swaying the decision of this game number 3. Is it going to go game number 4, or is Rockingham going to win 3-0? Or we just might reach overtime. 5 more seconds on the clock. Ball still over on North Henderson's side of the field. Needs to stay airborne, or otherwise overtime will happen, and that is absolutely the case.
Okay, this is getting intense. Rockingham up 2-0 in the series, though, so they're the ones that would like to end this right here, right now. North Henderson trying to give himself a chance to stay alive in the series.
Yep. Ball in the air. Well, Tim Killer is going to at least try to push that back over towards yet nowhere to be found. North Henderson will end up getting that goal. First goal scored in overtime means that you win the game, and it only took them 13 seconds. Nice little bump coming through from Tim Killer that actually went in towards his own goal. So not too sure what the heck that was about, but I think at the end of the day, they just wanted to play more games.
That's what it looks like to me. I mean, who doesn't want to play more Rocket League? Wow, interesting play there, to be honest. I mean, like we said, the tiebreakers will come into play. If you're, like, ultra tied, it can go down to total goals scored as well. So, I mean, might disagree with the tactic there. Got to take every game seriously here. You
really do, especially towards the end of the line. We're mostly talking about for week number 5 as it is done and dusted for Rocket League. Week 6 could be very imperative towards the team's success on being able to find themselves in the top 8, to be able to qualify for conference championships. Again, we're going to be getting in towards that as moments will be passing. However, some things that we got to do, as everybody really loved the Guess Who game that we got to play, we had another fun little game that Eli and I got to play with each other. We were blind guessing characters. Take a look.
You can rock, paper, scissors with choose who goes first.
Go ahead. It's easy reads. Do they have long hair?
No.
Would you classify them as a heavyweight?
Yes.
Are they an animal?
Wait, no, we're supposed to guess.
Oh, we're supposed to guess now. Oh.
Right? Yeah, after 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
one guess.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Donkey Kong.
Let's go.
That's why I almost changed it. I almost changed it because I was wondering if it might be too easy to guess.
Is it a Pokemon?
No.
Is it from the Zelda franchise?
No.
This doesn't help. Is it Mario?
It's not Mario.
Is it Mr. Game & Watch?
It's not Mr. Game.
Okay.
Do they have a sword?
They do not.
Is this character large?
In terms of physical or
Yes, physically large.
They are physically large. 3, 2, 1.
Incineroar.
Bowser.
No.
It's not a Pokemon.
Oh, it's not a Pokemon. Do they have facial hair?
Yes.
Are they from the Mario universe?
They are. 3, 2, 1.
Luigi.
Mario. He's physically large.
Yeah.
Luigi? What?
I mean, Luigi's tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
In stature, he is big.
We had the 2 options.
We
covered our bases.
Yeah.
That one was a little bit more difficult. I like Guess Who because I have the characters right in front of me. Asking questions about a 70-plus roster can only lead in so many ways.
Is it only 70? It feels like 100 when you look at the character sheet. But yeah, it's we were able to get the first one pretty instantly, though. I mean, Donkey Kong, pretty obvious to us, I guess. But
yeah, because you play them all the time.
Exactly. Wario a little bit more difficult, but regardless, that was fun. We'll have another segment just like that later in the show for you guys. But let's go ahead and get into. I believe we had some Super Smash Brothers action. Now that we're on that topic. Here is the leaderboard. Now, keep in mind, this one goes all the way to top 16. Smash is our most popular game, so want to give as many players the opportunity to compete in the conference championship and the state finals. And still a lot of undefeated players crowned, I know, from your region. Still undefeated, yet to drop a single game. But there's a lot of fantastic players across the board here.
Oh, absolutely. We had 100+ total in unique schools for teams signed up for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at the beginning of the season, and we definitely hear it throughout the entirety of the weeks. Everybody's win-loss record will be more inflated compared to the other games because they are technically playing 2 best-of-3s within one game. But yeah, Crown's very much so still at the top. Butler and Palisades B all may be undefeated, but only Butler and Palisades A remain flawless so far. So I'm sure that everybody's probably looking at that matchup when it comes down to conference championships potentially, should the bracket shape up that way. And then we still have Challenger Early College, STEM Early College, North Carolina as well, undefeated for the Western. And I know very much so you're probably sitting on the fact that you got some individual that goes to Jack Britt that has a very nasty me gunner as well.
Yeah, me gunner is backup is Steve. We know that he is a phenomenal player. Shout out to him, by the way. He brought his Switch to swim practice because he also swims for his school. And he set up the Switch to play his matches like next to the pool, I guess, or in the locker room.
Yep.
I don't know, but he won those as well. So he's still undefeated. Wanted to make sure he gave himself the best possible seed here going into the conference championship, which is now approaching.
Yep, very much so the case. You'll still see all those different teams on the bubble as well. These next few games, especially at the end of week number 5 and week number 6, are going to be indicative whether or not they do make it in towards the top 16 for conference championships, and if they do make it towards that single elimination bracket. Let's take a look at some of these clips, though, because we definitely had a lot of interesting matchup. We'll start off here with Grays Creek going up against Hope County, some of your cats over on the eastern side of North Carolina.
I remember this one well. This Terry has been on a tear. No pun intended, but K. Rule was no slouch either. Big body of K. Rule, a bit tougher to KO than most of the characters in the cast.
Terry is a very interesting character. Again, much like most of the traditional fighting characters, Ryu, Ken, Kazuya, he has the auto turnaround feature as well. So if you can get those combinations started with just a little bit of a jab and you can end in towards a Buster Wolf once your go bar does become online, it'll kill very quickly. I don't care how heavy this lizard is.
That's true. What I've noticed, though, a lot about this Terry, though, is he has been so effective keeping the opposition on the ledge, but as soon as K. Rule gets center stage or on one of these platforms is where they start to have a little bit of difficulty. So back in the situation, but not maybe pinning them in the corner as well as they could. Go Meter is online, though.
Yeah, Go Meter is online. All of those directional inputs will end up being very, very powerful, as you can hear Terry letting out a certain extra scream, but the dash attack will be right there. And this is the one thing just about this matchup in general, is like, K. Rule, as far as the tier list is concerned, not very high, not very regarded, but is very gimmicky, mostly because of his golden belly, that armor, that super armor, very difficult for Terry to deal with.
I think more than half of K. Rule's moves have super armor on them, so it's quite annoying to play against. I think, honestly, a pretty good matchup versus Terry, probably. And I think the big issue here is Terry losing their stock before even getting to utilize the Go Meter. That's a big win condition for K. Rule in this matchup.
Yeah. Get a Power Geyser, and that very much so could be a stock off the top for even a heavy character who, I mean, this K. Rule's living for a very long time. It's just going to take maybe one good edge guard, a Buster Wolf towards the ledge, and that should at least claim the stock. Or up air, still not going to be able to do it. A back air surely would, but not wanting to chase. There's the Buster Wolf. Will come through. Even stocks.
Even stocks. And, man, I remember casting this series. Every single matchup in this trio went down to the last game. They were all 3-game matches, which might be the first and only time it's happened in the season period. There was usually at least 1-2-0 in the trio.
Oh, yeah. Terry trying to at least reset himself, has that Go Meter online, doesn't have a second jump, so this is pretty linear. Does make it back to the stage, trying to use the Go Bar. Down throw, he is plummeted into the ground off the stage. That was just a really weird interaction, but still holding the neutral. This is a good spot to be if you're Terry. Are you okay?
Wow. Big enough to survive that hit, but does a ton of damage. Get K. Rule up to now 100%, so this feels pretty even at the moment, but I feel like Terry will die to the next hit here. Nice aerial drift there to grab the ledge, but yeah, after getting grounded once again, gets the forward tilt to close things out. Blockboy playing patiently on this last stock as well.
I'm surprised that Blockboy was still trying to throw out F smashes and forward tilts. The up tilt is actually the quickest frame data that Kate Rule does have to be able to get that stock, but still setting up the down throw to be able to claim that stock doesn't stop Angie Boy for coming back in and being able to tie things back up. But until you see about 60% on this Kate Rule, which is coming up pretty quickly, the matchup is still very much so in his favor. No, not like this.
The spike, and I think Terry had already burned their jump as well, so just cannot get the vertical momentum to get the rising tackle to the ledge, but man, that is one big alligator. But we'll move on to the next one here. And here we've got a Hero versus Roy matchup, and this should be an interesting one.
It's definitely something. You know, we don't really get to see too many heroes. I know that there's like a good hero that does play in the Japanese circuit, but a lot of them in most tournaments are top bar warriors. And if you're wondering what I mean by that, you can see that little magic bar that keeps getting popped up by hero by Beans in the bottom left side. Sometimes people will just spam whatever's on the top bar. Doesn't always work out in your favor, but it seems that Beans has a really good understanding on how to min-max their MP bar.
Yeah, there's a lot of I guess, power-ups that you can use that you want to use while your opponent is respawning. Bounce not going to matter too much in a Roy matchup. No projectiles to reflect here, but yeah, you got to be really careful. I feel like this is probably a tough matchup for Hero because you don't have any time to look through the menu with a Roy charging in your face.
Exactly, and it's important to note, especially for Roy, his tipper, his sweet spot of the sword is actually a lot closer to the hilt. So yeah, he does definitely needs to get in close range, but if you try to cut the distance with a linear get up like that, you're just going to get spiked with a certain amount of flame in a gusto.
I tell you what, the STEM early college player, I think, was one of the undefeated teams in the Western region. So let's see, how does he pull this comeback out here? Nice reverse nair there. Short hop up air as well, and the pressure has just mounted.
Roy's a fast boy. He is our boy. Thwack gonna miss. That would have claimed the stock for sure. Would have seen the Roy evaporate just off of the battlefield, but still trying to reset neutral. It's just about a dead even game. Oh, we almost able to get the jab. Turn around back air. Can you get back to the stage? There's not a single bit of edge guard, but the Hatchet Man and lag will spell disaster. What a comeback for ALG.
So clutch, and I think that's indicative of why this player is undefeated so far, if you're able to clutch up in the last stock situation just like that. Here we got one of your groups here. We got Smarty versus Blitzer.
Yeah, so Palisades B. We talk a lot about Palisades just as a school in general. We talk a lot about Crown because he was a top competitor when it came down to states last season. But there also needs to be said something that when you are the guy that is currently being beat up by one of North Carolina's best, you're probably going to become pretty good yourself. And I think that that's exactly what we're having with Smarty. Again, me Swordsman, not exactly a great character, but has a lot of nuances. You're seeing the ring disc being thrown out, trying to hold the space. And when you're going up against Spaceys, that could be disastrous if you can't get the shine online. But this is game number 2. Blitzer typically plays Fox, thought the Wolf was going to be the better pick, but now he's just a slower moving target for Smarty to absolutely demolish.
I'm noticing with the ring there, he can throw it in a lot of different ways. Throw it fast, throw it slow, throw it in an angle. I like different utilization of that. Yeah, I like the slow use there to guard the ledge. Yeah, but Wolf's just not going to make it back from the side beat.
Not at all. Yeah, I will say this much for Smarty as well. His confirms off of just about anything into up air has been pristine. Side Bs have also been very good as well. 26% already given over towards the second stock. And yeah, it's just these confirms. Look at that. He knows what he's doing up to the up air. Can't get the kill, but that's a lot of damage.
Ooh, and the nice spot dodge there to avoid the next attack. He's on a roll right now. I think you're onto something when it comes to playing against Crown all the time. You're probably going to adapt pretty quick. Smarty showing that he could be just as good, but
he's good.
Okay, that recovery better than I expected.
Way better. Yeah, it's not a me brawler. He's for sure making him back from there, but are we emoting down almost a full stock? You got 130% so far, Blitzer. I'd be careful if I was you, but he's got to cook. And he's got to cook now because these ring discs have been a real problem into the schnozzle of Blitzer. How about that confirm as well? Roll back through. Already got it covered.
Answers back with a taunt of their own as well. You love to see it. Projectiles trading out. It's going to be Wolves that does a little bit more damage here, but this is coming down to the wire. I feel like Swordsman is so tricky. I think this might be the character I've seen played the least, so I don't even know the moveset of this champion, but they look like they're having a blast. But having a blast is Wolf, as it's now a last stock situation.
Can you force a game number 3 if you are Blitzer? Would be a massive feat for yourself, given that Smarty leading in towards this series it was still technically undefeated, had yet to drop a single stage. So this game would be imperative for maybe some seeding once we get down to Surrey, or once we get down to conference championships, excuse me. Resetting the neutral. Ooh, meteor effect there off the illusion. Not going to really surmount to much of anything at all because we're still low percentage.
So interesting to choose that side B in neutral there. Just finding the hit, though. Every move from Wolf hits very hard, so you got to be careful now. If you're Smarty, Wolf could find a nair into a smash attack or nair into a grab. Really put him in a tough spot here.
Yeah, I think that it needs to be said that Wolf is unique when it comes down to the 3 spacey characters. Actually does have a sweet spot for like a lot of their moves. You'll see the claws come out, or how about just a raw forward smash to claim that 3rd stock for Smarty. It's going to force a game number 3. And more often than not, we were spectating that Surrey Early College were down horrendously throughout the entirety of that game number 2.
Wow, we got some talented players in our league here. Andy, I cannot wait for those conference championships, which, like we mentioned, are coming up fairly soon here. But there's just, I don't know. It's going to be extremely intense, especially once we get to LAN at States.
Yeah, again, conference championships will give you all the details, but there's not a whole lot of room for error when it comes down to a single elimination bracket, and especially for States up on a main stage as well. My hands are already sweating just thinking about it. So, yeah, Super Smash Brothers, again, an absolute beloved video game by myself and Eli. Of course, we play it quite often in the office as well, and we've been watching it really back since the Nintendo 64 days at locals at our Blockbusters. That shows our age more than anything, but it's fantastic to be able to see all these games as they continue to develop week in and week out. And along from that as well, we've been asking for you all, if your matches aren't actually on stream, give us your clips. And it doesn't even have to be for a broadcasted match or a seasonal game. You can show us clips for just about anything.
Yeah, I mean, any cool thing that you've done in a video game, period, just submit it. We might actually cast it in one of these weekly updates. And on that note, we've actually got some submitted clips from this last week here. This one, I believe, is Wii Boxing from DJ, who's on, I know that I've seen them play, I believe, NCAA as well, but this is interesting here.
I can't remember the last time that I even thought about me boxing. Like Wii Sports was well ahead of its time, but what a combo, the good old 1-2 knockout. Can he get back up to 4 and maybe 5, but
absolutely cooking. More fighting here from UFC 2024. This one's from Director. And wow, look at the graphics on this game. This looks incredible. Spinning sidekick. That man is asleep.
This has to be the John Jones impersonation to be able to get that little sidekick. Now we go over towards a Hope County Cedar Ridge, and yeah, that's a certain nasty rest reset right there. Mario Boy living up to his name, but King up on this puff. Could very much so have a hard time. But yeah, Mario Boy is definitely a familiar name that I see quite often from Hope County.
Yeah, this is from Psycho King here, though. I believe he's on the other side. They're robbing the footstool into air dodge down into the next hit. Covers the ledge with side B into the forward smash. Look at the Robin movement. This is clean. He's wave bouncing back and forth. Gets the...
What?
Oh, man, he is cooking on this character right now. This is a fast forward into it. Neutral air into back air. Robin, the only champion in the game that has an aerial smash attack and utilizing it beautifully. But I'm very impressed by the movement here from Psycho King.
I am very impressed with the usage of arc fire to set up a tons of different things. There's that, again, turnaround back air. Hits like a freight train. And this went all the way to the distance, all the way down towards a final destination, stage number 3. King down in a horrendous way.
Parry.
Fast character, but the parry, arc fire, up smash. We'll be seeing you.
That was one of the cleanest combos on Robin I think I've ever seen. I mean, we don't often see high-level Robin play, but I
barely see Robin, period.
Using the wave bounce and the B reverses to just be so mixy in the air, Mario Boy could not make heads or tails of that movement, but wow, impressive stuff from Psycho King. Can't wait to see how they fare in the conference championship. I believe they should be in that top 8, especially with plays like that.
Yeah, Cedar Ridge B, we'll definitely see them at least in top 16, so we'll be able to see more of them not only through week 6, but also I can only imagine through conference championships because, yeah, Robin players, very far few in between. We see a lot of Sonic, but those Robin plays definitely make us feel some type of way. But now as we move away from Super Smash Brothers, we definitely have to give some highlight over towards Overwatch 2. Again, Overwatch 2 is a game that is very hard to find value with, but if you're playing with a team and you're trying to benefit and get better from a team perspective, this is the right game for you. And we're seeing a lot of progress being made across all 3 regions. Palisades, again, find themselves here. Palisades B only have the 1 loss, but Audrey Kale and Palisades A are both undefeated in the CMS region.
So impressed by some of the players in the league. Got to shout out, as always, Swag Boy has to be the best player in my region.
That hamster is annoying.
I'll tell you what, though, I haven't really seen Westover too much, so I can't say for certain, but Swag Boy definitely the best player that I've seen on a tank player, dropping 40, 50 kills sometimes in a row. So watch out for him once you get into the conference championship. They're undefeated. Down on the bubble, there are a lot of teams that are tied in more ways than one. Northside Onslow and West Craven currently tied in both match percentage and game percentage. So it's going to be very interesting how this shakes up in the final week.
Want to make sure that you win those crucial matchups, especially when you're in and out of the bubble. Everybody 3-2 there over for CMS, though I guess realistically if you're Rockingham and Cab Tech, you basically have to duke it out between those 3 teams. But yeah, for Northside Onslow, West Craven, and hell, even New Bern A, as well as NC Cyber Academy, all of those teams being so close as far as round 4, round against, win-loss record. Very, very important to be able to win those on the bubble matchups to find yourself over that line and get in towards conference championships. We got some clips to show you as well from Overwatch 2. Going to be starting off here with Jones Senior versus Richmond.
Okay, here is
senior matchup.
Yeah, Diva character now onto the Soldier 76. You see I'm learning the characters.
I love that for you.
But yeah, I think I remember watching this one, Richmond Senior kind of trapping themselves in the point. You want to have a little bit more space to work with here as Jones Senior collapses through. They get the first couple KOs, make it 3, and Jones Senior, I do believe, go on to cap this point as Diva's doing some work here.
Yeah, Jones Senior went on to win this entire map. I mean, Richmond Senior, you see here as we jump forward, we're able to end up finding the flip. There's a nice little boop off the edge. Diva, a multi-talented tank, also has a self-destruct available to come through. Point does flip. Richmond Senior High School, we're constantly doing this. Like Jones Senior, we're trying to chase for the kills. They gave up the point. Richmond Senior were able to find their way back in towards the point and constantly flip it. But their focus fire was always so good. Nice little body block to deny the Mercy from getting back inside. It sets up Cloud over by the pool to be able to pepper them with damage. Ramatra ultimate also invested, but then the remech gets called down and smushes a very angry tank. He is now out of commission. Up to 94% though for Richmond Senior High School, and the one thing that I will say is that they definitely struggled on regrouping when they were down with numbers. Jones Senior were always eating them alive when they found a lot of players isolated.
And here we go into the next map here. Richmond trying to turn the tide, but I'll tell you what, Cloud, in both the last clip and this clip, is so good at positioning themselves to make sure that they can output the most damage and not really have any attention on them.
Speaking of not having much attention, Twiz was dropped down to 50 HP as a flanking Genji, has the blade more than available. No nano boost to couple along with that, but you don't have a defensive ultimate on the opposite side to stop this from happening. Pulls out the blade, misses the swipe, so no dash reset, tries to rectify the situation at hand, but now you have the Orisa ultimate that will be called in to stop the blade in its tracks. It's a 2-for-none trade, and Richmond Senior High finally have the numbers to try to start pushing through the choke point, but it's literally just that. They're trying to push through the original choke point, and finally they find the kills, they find the team wipe, they get on the point, and it becomes unlocked.
But is it too little, too late? You really want to get some forward progress on the payload as soon as possible. Jones Senior played such good defense, but they're starting to cook a little bit here. Richmond Senior trying to move it forward.
Twiz on the duplicator was able to duplicate the Pharah, so a rocket barrage was immediately earned. Didn't find much of anything. The resurrection still comes through onto the Bastion, but Twizzy starts pushing a little bit further forward. The cage fight was also called in, as well as the Fox Rush, and Jones Senior High were able to at least stop that dead in its tracks. You can see right there in the top right, one capture point, almost 70 meters. That's where the golden checkbox of victory will be for Jones Senior now on their offense.
Cloud once again positioning themselves well for these long-range attacks. Twiz on the front line, trying to change things in a hurry. Look at the Reaper popping off here. 2 right now, make it 3, and Cloud and Sergey finish off the rest of the team as well. That was an impressive sequence.
Yeah, if I'm Isaiah, I'm punching air right there because he was the only one that ended up seeing the Reaper. Nobody else turned around from Richmond Senior High School to deal with a flanking Reaper. Very frustrating situation to find yourself in, but Jones Senior High were able to win that in a 2-0 fashion. Shout out Blizzard World. Now we move over towards the Western region. Northwest Guilford is actually one of two teams that are still undefeated next to Gaston Early College for Western. So it's safe to say that SEM, NCAA, and T have their work cut out for them.
Love the tag, Swanky Pants coming in. We've also got Legendary and Microbolts 97, but so far their teamwork looks very good. I feel like their positioning is very well coordinated, and that's probably an indication of why so far they're undefeated.
Yeah, baits out the self-destruct. And the moment that self-destruct goes off, they're just right back to square one, just push them in towards oblivion. Here's a character you're very familiar with from the Sandhills region. Swanky Pants now on the Wrecking Ball. The Hamster diving on in, gets the adaptive shields. And yeah, this ain't May from Overwatch 1 anymore, and you ain't freezing that Hamster in place. You just gotta have to try to lock him down by any stretch of the imagination. But this is what Wrecking Ball does so well. Just off of one pile drive comes through, and then you're all just isolated as Swanky Pants also got to play the game.
Wow, now I feel like there's an inevitable matchup between Swanky Pants and Swag Boy
Yeah.
as they both play tanks.
What a matchup.
That'll be one for the ages once it finally comes through. But here's the play of the game. Swanky Pants putting on a show. By the way, a little gamer here, if I'm not mistaken, was the Kirby player that won Smash in the last season. Now showing off what they can do in Overwatch as well.
Yep. Love to be able to see the multi-esport representation as we get over towards Blizzard World. Household favorite, and I was talking Trey's ear off when we were casting the CMS region. If this was a real place, I would spend copious amounts of money to be here every single day. What a lovely experience it is. In towards the Mortar Strike does go the Bastion for STEM, NCA, and T. Trying to at least find themselves more progress, but the Molten Core gets called down from the Swankiest of Pants. That just means that there's a whole lot of molten lava all over the point and sends everybody packing from STEM.
Northwest Guilford saying, hey, look, I respect your game in Smash, but this is Overwatch. This is our game, as they're going to take the win at 2-0, play the game, go into Vexaru with a clean play here.
Ramatra, it's just such an annoying character to go up against. He's just so disrespectful once that ultimate gets popped and you're just getting uppercutted over and over again. Yeah, I hate when that happens. I hate when I get punched in the face. Olympic High School now over towards Concord High School A, a CMS matchup. Again, these are set map pools, which is why we're seeing Ilios as often as we are.
10-player kill streak here for Ayoda Sean YouTube. Maybe check out the YouTube channel.
Yo, Deshaun.
Maybe he's got some sick, even more sick Overwatch clips on the YouTube channel. Shout out there. But this one looks to be a little bit more hotly contested. Looks like one down on the side of Concord, 3 down for Olympic High in the moment.
Yep, Olympic High. Try to find values with the Deadeye
Whoa.
and the Fox Rush. That'll help you charge it a little bit faster and it'll up your rate of fire, but doesn't exactly help things out when you got a Black Cat Coffee on the Ramatra just running you down. And that was a really good trade, a 1-for-2 ultimate trade. Riptire comes through, takes down the tank for Concord High, and that kind of takes a lot of their protection down as far as the defense is concerned, but they're still struggling just to find their way forward. It's a Zenyatta that's holding the line. Still has Transcendence, by the way. Crybaby ends up calling in the self-destruct, does find 2. Could have called in the Transcendence if you are Neon to maybe try to stay alive a little bit longer, but want to hold on to that defensive ultimate for a rainy day.
Yeah, here at the last siege, it would appear. But look at the engage coming in from Concord without fear at all. How does this one play out?
Oh, the Echo pick pays off. Deshaun able to duplicate the Diva on the opposite side. You charge your ultimate so much faster. The self-destruct finds 2. Remy's there with the orbital assistance on the Juno to bolster that retake coming through. And they were down horrendously for numbers.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Concord just lost a member. So now it's a 4v5. Doesn't even matter. There's not enough time. I thought there for a second maybe we could have gotten somebody to the point in time. But Remy, Juno, support play of the game. Doesn't happen too often, but we'd love to see it.
Okay, let's take a look. I think this must have been during that team fight here. That was beautiful. I mean, they just charged in and completely destroyed the team, but the other team did the same thing back to them in the next play. So very intense match that looked to be.
Yeah, definitely love Overwatch 2 as it's continuously progressing. We get a lot of good hit scan players that I know are probably asking, where's Valorant? Well, you just play Cassidy and tap heads, you'll feel right at home. But it's even more to be able to talk. You keep talking about like the tanks coming through from Sandhills. We just saw a really good tank player also coming through from the Western as well. I take a lot of good focus on the tank players for CMS as well, because a good tank will make or break an Overwatch 2 game, especially when it comes down to a team fight. Very influential to be able to dictate the pace of the fights. But I want to make sure that you're going to take a look at Jake Overwatch's videos on the Knotwork platform. All these videos are free, for crying out loud. For all 4 of the seasonal games, we have long tenured professionals, former and multiple #1 professionals in all of those esports, giving you free content. So go to the Knotwork platform, for crying out loud. But speaking of all that as well, we are also continuously making more and more content, short form content. You see all these different games that we're playing throughout the entirety of it. Here's a fun little tidbit about some of our YouTube shorts.
Guess Who Gaming Edition.
Does your character have a hat?
Yes. Is your character a female?
No.
No.
I already got you pretty low here. Character a male.
Yes. Whoa, what happened here? How'd you get to 3? Is your character an Overwatch character?
Yes. I'm stuck, bro.
Go.
Does your character have a headband?
No. Is your character May?
No. Is your character McCree?
No.
Dang, bro.
Is your character Anna?
No.
What?
Is your character Brimstone?
Yes.
Let's go.
Very nice to be able to see somebody else be going through the Guess Who. I wonder if they also won 2-0.
You're just going to never let me live that down, huh? All right, we'll just have to play Smash right after this. All right, so now that we took a look at that, let's go ahead and jump into NCAA 2025. We've got some phenomenal players across the board. Good news for CMS. If you're playing, you're going to make it. But on the other side in Sandhills, we've got 16 players that are still battling it out. 2 currently undefeated, but a lot on the bubble there as well.
Yeah, you can see right there in between Hope County, JP Knapp, and Richmond Senior High School, all very much so in and on the bubble. So these next few weeks, as far as matchups are concerned, will be very, very imperative. But let's call a spade here. Everybody's eyeing Shelby A. Everybody wants a piece of TBK. That is your former state's champion, and everybody knows that guy's pretty good.
He's pretty good indeed, and it's going to be really interesting to see if anybody can stand up to him. I see 2 undefeated players in Sandhills and 1 in CMS, so those are likely to be the ones that could contend with him. But look at that point differential, 241 points scored, only 56 points allowed. I feel like in this game, defense seems to be the most important one. To play 5 games and only allow 56 points is pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, that is monumental, to say the least. Defense is the hardest part about college football. That's why most people just kind of simulate defense whenever they're doing their careers. So we got a couple clips to go through for you all here for college football. We're going to be starting off with Kearns Academy versus Shelby High School A. And, well, speaking of TBK, he appears.
Here he is representing the Miami Hurricanes. I believe this is typically his pick.
Where do you think that college is?
I think you told me it's in, like, Ohio.
Oh, I already told you? Oh,
yeah.
Dang.
But love
it's not funnier the second time.
Okay, and we're starting to see why he's #1 with a perfectly chosen receiver there. It looked like almost every other receiver was covered. And he's going to just go for the extra point here and starts with a 14-0 lead.
And the thing that you should all be watching when we are taking a look at TBK and some of the other undefeated teams across all 3 of the regions, it's not necessarily just their immediate play call, but it's reading what the defense is throwing at you. That's a certain different level of you watch a lot of football. Also making sure that the touchback doesn't come through, maybe trying to force the issue. Only realistically gained 2 yards on it, did Kearns Academy. So realistically, no harm, no foul for Shelby High A as they still lead 14-0.
And let's see what this defense looks like from TBK. How are they able to stop so many points? Looks like they've got good coverage. Sack is coming through, but is that a interception? It is. It looked like it was a pass perfectly to this player, but that just goes to show that TBK is ready for everything. Some nice jukes to get some extra yards up the field as well.
I wonder if that was a misinput because he did have his tight end more than free in the middle of the field. But we'll swap over to NC Virtual Academy versus JP Knapp and got ourselves a good old Texas versus Alabama showcasing here. Very tenured colleges always seeing or facing each other at least once, maybe twice in the calendar year. But a very close one here throughout the second quarter.
This was such a fun one. Chris and I got to cast this, and it was very close throughout. Texas decided for that field goal before, but here we go. The handoff coming through for JP Knapp, and they're going to find an opening, but ultimately get stopped short at that 5-yard line.
Couldn't get all the way to the line, didn't have enough room to breathe. Here comes the rush back towards the line, which we are seeing a lot of people try to abuse, kind of throws you into an emotional blender. Almost got to the goal line. It's merely second and inches, but back to the line again. Same exact run play, but it is an option. Where are we going this time? Straight up to the gut. Why not? It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But it's one of those things that we're seeing like a lot of people try to rush back to the line, and it's kind of like a high risk, high reward because fatigue and injuries are on, so you are risking at losing some of your starters.
Yeah, you definitely need to be careful with the way you use your players. You might have to dip into the bench, but JP Knapp do take the lead from that play. Going to be a standard kickoff here, and Virtual Academy get the ball back in their hands. They're going to opt to catch and run, and decently ran, all things considered. Yeah,
I mean, you call fair catch there. You're going to be starting on the 1-yard line, so better in that circumstance than it is anything. And that's one fun thing that we are starting to see. We talked about it for TBK, just making sure that they don't full blast it in towards the back of the end zone, though it's certainly a strategy that we're seeing being used. Flea flicker play. Player open downfield. He takes control of the defensive cornerback, and that means he can't get there in time. Just dive, try to catch him. Not going to be the case at all. What a play.
JP Knapp took quite a while to get down the field and score, and they answer back by saying, I just need one play to find the end zone. So Texas did end up going on to win that one. But here we got Providence versus Palisades, and another huge Hail Mary all the way to the end zone. That was insane.
Yeah, the Pumas out of Palisades always finding their way to get into the broadcast when it comes down to CMS for a region across all 4 seasonal games. They should all realistically be in conference championships for all 4 esports titles. They are pretty darn good. Going up against Providence, though, the way that Trey and I were kind of manipulating this as far as the conversation is concerned is that Palisades needed the test to see how they stack up against other conference championships teams. This was their matchup, and I remember this one being incredibly close through at least the first quarter and maybe the first half of the second quarter, but hold on to your seats here because this one is about to get gnarly.
Okay, starting on the 25 here. Just saw their opponent throw it all the way to the end zone. They're going to go for the same here. But no, it's going to be a sack. It could have been a fumble. That could have been worse. But that's a actually, sorry. They get the throw off, so it's actually not a sack. So.
Yeah. And able to get the forward motion on the pass as well, so not a fumble. Very certain nuances can come through should that timing not be available to you, but almost a loss of like 12 yards. So that was incredibly close. I would almost reckon that you could probably stop the fumble before you lose all those yards all the way downfield. Has a receiver more than open. Tit for tat Palisades were able to get themselves a 70-plus yard reception touchdown. Providence answer back with one of their own.
What a perfect throw. Back-to-back Hail Mary bombs into the end zone. This looks like it's shaping up to be a high-scoring game between these two, Providence and Palisades. Certainly some of the most potent on offense that we've seen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Palisades A, when it comes down to it, again, they have the highest score differential for the CMS region. They are the only undefeated team still. They are 5-0 as it currently stands. At the end of this week, we're able to take care of Providence. Again, this continues to go back and forth. It was an offensive escapade that existed until the third quarter started. And I believe that Palisades started getting interception after interception. And the thing that kept happening is that Providence, when they did score a touchdown, they kept on trying to go for 2 points, and it started digging them into a hole. I mean, put yourself at least to 19, make it a 2-point game, and then the field goal would have been able to be there to be able to take the lead. It's just these small little errors that we're seeing a lot of people try to egregiously get away from, and when you're going up against a team like Palisades or TBK from Shelby, it ain't going to work.
Football in real life and in the game, there's so many high-risk, high-reward plays you got to go for sometimes, but maybe not that early in the game. Like you said, like once the stage calls for it, that's when you take those extra risks because you never want to turn the ball over just inches from the end zone as we just saw. So, yeah, cannot wait to see how the last week plays out and see who gets to qualify for the conference championships. But looks like we have another one of our little guessing game that we played, and this one was interesting. Take a look.
Do they have a sword?
No.
Are they a human?
Yes.
Is a
I think
human.
they would be classified as human, yes.
Well, that's Is it Ness?
It's not Ness.
Samus.
It's not Samus.
Are they a smaller character?
I mean, I'd say Normal size?
Okay.
Are they in Fire Emblem?
No. 3, 2, 1.
Mario.
I got nothing. I don't. Mario's a human.
You're right.
Sheik? Does it have long hair? That didn't really help. I'm not
Do they use projectiles?
I don't think so.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Zelda.
Zelda, yeah.
It is not Zelda.
Do they have two genders?
Yes.
Are they from Fire Emblem?
No, you already guessed that.
No.
Small in stature. It's Ice Climbers. Dang it! Because you knew who I was originally thinking until like the Fire Emblem thing came back
Corin
up.
or Robin, right? Is it Byleth?
If it's a Fire Emblem character.
Yeah,
You're right, it's not.
Is it 3 characters?
Like,
Do they control 3 characters?
No, it is not.
Okay.
Characters. No Pokemon training.
It's not a Fire Emblem character. Did we already ask? Is it from the Zelda series?
No, you did not.
Is it from the Zelda series?
No, it is not.
Dang.
Is it for Mario?
It is not.
It's not a Fire Emblem character, so there's still one in play, but not a multi, not from Mario, Zelda, or Fire Emblem. Oh, I know who it is.
3, 2, 1.
Robin.
Mr. Game & Watch. That's Fire Emblem, dog. We already
No.
went over this.
That's from Fire Emblem.
I have one new guess, but I'm gonna keep going.
Well played, Mr. Pizza Time. Well played.
Oh, wait, I think I know.
Yep, you got there.
Alright, do you wanna?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
We
Inkling.
Fit Trainer.
Dang, we could have gone either way, man.
Wow, yeah, I mean, obviously some more difficult than the others, especially when we're talking about Super Smash Brothers and the roster. There's a lot of different characters and only so many questions that we can ask that will be able to give us that answer. I promise you that one taking a little bit longer. We definitely have a lot of hours spent inside the game. Sometimes we're just a little special. But yeah, always a fun time to be able to play these games. Guess Who was a good bunch of fun. Hopefully we get to do some more games in the future when it comes down to a lot of these streams. And hopefully you guys are all enjoying it and laughing as you were watching it, the same for us. But as far as conference championships are concerned, we said it over 20 times so far as this recap show is concerned. That is coming up right at the end of week 6.
Yeah, it's of course top of our mind. That's why we keep saying it so often. These last couple of weeks are so consequential to see who even qualifies to compete in them. But that's going to be happening this weekend. As of this video's drop, it should be tomorrow and the next day. So tomorrow on Saturday, we have Overwatch and college football. And then going into Sunday, we're going to have Smash and Rocket League. It's going to be top 8 from each game, except for Smash. You get top 16 in that one because, like we said, a lot more competitors there. And top 1 from each conference this weekend do qualify for the state championship. You automatically skip over wildcard weekend. But if you finish in the top 4, you got to pay attention because you might have a chance for a wild card.
Yeah, finishing first, obviously, should be your main goal. That you auto-qualify for states. But if you do get top 4, to Eli's point, we will have that wild card, an LCQ, if you will. A last chance qualifier is what those letters stand for. Yeah. What did you thought it stand for? We'll talk about it later. It's one of those things, again, that you want to try to be at your best. And one of the ways that you can be at your best is to take advantage of the Not Work platform. You're already over there making memes. You're trying to collect coins anyway. You might as well just go over to the tab where you do have some curriculum-based videos made by professional players for your specific esport that you're competing in to make sure that you are at the top of the pecking order when it comes down to states. Again, conference championships do start tomorrow at this date of it airing. But not just for esports is what this recap show is all about. We also have an update from our STEM friends. Here they are.
Thanks, guys. All right, everybody, welcome to the best part of the stream. You know what it is. It is the STEM segment. Hey, guys, I'm Ko.
And I'm Julianne.
And this is a recap of what just happened this final week for the weekly STEM competitions. And we're going to get into what's going to happen at the wildcard weekend, as well as what is happening at the Epic State event. So let's go ahead and start with a little recap here of week 7, the final week. First, let's talk about the exclusive competitions. in the exclusive digital marketing competition, it just finished with 8 teams having studied their analytics to improve the performance of whatever video that they did post, and they also shared what they discovered. So let's take a look at third place, which is Becca the Destroyer from RJCal with 666 points. Now they had a pretty good video here, and their video did pretty well on YouTube, but the most important metric that they had was watch time. They actually had an average watch time that exceeded their video, which means people watched it more than once. So pretty good stuff there, Becca. Love the transitions. All right, in second place, we have the Ka-Chow Kid from Esports Legends with 707 points. Now they happen to have a video, a YouTube short, all about Rocket League, and they were able to get just shy of 1,000 views on this video. So, not gonna lie, it's pretty impressive. I'm a little jealous, to be honest. So good job, man. That's great stuff. Great work. Okay, and in first place for the exclusive digital marketing competition is NCVA Saturn from NC Virtual Academy with 787 points. Their metrics were very impressive. They happened to get 5.2K views on their video, which also netted them a fancy little 6 subscribers from just that video alone. Very nice stuff, and I attribute it to such an amazing profile picture for their YouTube video. Not gonna lie.
Totally.
Very good stuff. All right, also, hydroponics. It just concluded with all of our students in that creating their own videos documenting their process and their journey using their aqua tree. They're continuing to grow and harvest their crops to this day, and they'll be doing that up until states where they will be used in quite the show.
Quite the show. Pretty excited. So now let's talk about the STEM competitions that just recently ended for the rest of VESL. So we have robotics. The kids actually got their robotic arms, built them, and they also were asked to perform any task that they wanted to with their robotic arm. So it was pretty exciting to see some of the innovative ideas, and I kind of want a robotic arm myself now. So let's take a look at third place, Curry Joss from William Amos Huff with 720 points. I specifically want this one for my Sunday cleanup time. So he had a robotic arm that you can't hear him talking, but basically explaining when you have a mess in your room, what do you do with it? It's easy, just get a robotic arm and program it to take the trash out for you. And this was kind of a common theme we saw across a few different submissions, which I guess that's fair. Everyone needs to tidy up, and it kind of is a waste of time. So love that PC too. Congrats to Curry Joss. And then second place, we have Pro Idiot from Riverside High, Durham with 760 points. And you'll be able to see here that they actually had the same idea as well. So it was a pretty close competition with them. Really came down to video presentation and reasoning as to why they programmed their robotic arm. So love to see taking the trash out. And then in first place, we had a pretty creative idea. So it was Josh from Philip O'Berry Academy with 800 points. So a lot of points earned, but well-deserved. Great video. It's a really great TikTok. You guys should go check it out. But basically, it's when you can't reach your keypad, you're already laying down relaxed. What do? You need to type in your password. You program a robotic arm to do so. So yeah, I loved the visuals that Josh provided. Entertaining video, and honestly, a great creative concept. I'm sure we all can relate. I think we need one for the remote to change channels on the TV. So those were pretty interesting for me to see. I think everyone else here agreed as we judged them. So congrats to all 3 of those players and everyone else who's competing in robotics. And then we got the drone showdown. So these students have been racing every single week, fighting for that top spot on the leaderboard. It's been super fun to see the competition on that side. And they've been racing against themselves, against each other's times. But we'll get more into the future competitions that are coming up for them shortly. But we had third place, Curry Joss. Third place. Can I just keep going?
Yeah.
Back to the.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah. Well.
I'll find some drone B-roll.
Okay. Okay. So now on to the drone showdown. So that just ended where our racers were earning their professional level license in the simulator, and hopefully now they're actually ready to race each other instead of just racing against the time, against the clock. So in third place we had IamNoob.com from NC Virtual with 51 seconds. Second place, Josh from Filippo Berry with 49.185. In first place, NCVA Saturn from NC Virtual with 49.144. That is 0.04 milliseconds apart. So it's really crazy. I'm excited to see them race in future competitions.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be one of the most exciting races, but that's just IMO, as the kids say. But now for the remaining competitions that were open for any of you great people to hop into, let's look at who won Phase 4 for these challenges. First, Game Building Phase 4 has just concluded with all of the participants having put on the final touches for their games in order to make them whole and complete experiences that are ready to be shared with others. So please drop them some feedback on the not work so that they can continue to improve their games. But in third place, we had Josh from Philippa Berry with 507 points. Their game is called Penguin Pursuit. These are penguins, by the way. You might accidentally mistake them for pigs. But what they have improved, what Josh has improved thus far is lots of things, but the main thing being full, complete levels and more than just one level. And of course, they're all 3D in a 2D focused engine, so not too bad, man. Not too bad. All right, so in second place, we had NCVA Saturn from NC Virtual Academy with 660 points. Their game is the one created in UEFN, which is Unreal Engine for Fortnite. The main thing that they added to their racing game were new sections, such as the one that I would spend most of my time in, the Burnout Pit. Pretty cool stuff. I love to do donuts. I also do donuts in my personal car, for sure. Definitely do not tell my insurance company that. Also an off-road section, which I definitely do take my car off-roading as well. But if you want to do those, don't do them with an actual car. Don't take your parents' car. Play this game. It's actually pretty fun. So yeah, do that. All right, in first place, we have Curry Joss from William Amos Huff with 694 points. They had the Space Invaders game, compatible with mobile, of course, as you can see by the mobile device. The main thing that they upgraded from the last time that they showed off this game was better speed transitions. So these little aliens, they go at his pace, you beat them all, and then the speed changes. But those transitions are now much better, so this game should be much more enjoyable to play. On the not work. Play this game on the not work.
Nice. I actually haven't played that one yet. I gotta go on the not work and play it. So
Yeah.
Next, let's get into 3D Print to Win. So we have a bunch of different 3D modelers that have been competing for who can build the best boat. And over this past week, they were putting on their final touches to their boats, optimizing for buoyancy, stability, and durability. And you'll see why in a little bit. So in third place, we had Ghosts from Audrey Kelhai with 730 points. So you can see on their Tinkercad project, I kind of love, they added colors first off, and just all the different dimensions and the intricate details in here I really appreciate. So excited to see how it floats though. My guess, I think it's gonna be pretty stable.
Not gonna lie, my money is definitely on this boat.
Right?
Look at all that volume.
Super great to see. Love the new additions you added to that boat. And then in second place, we had Josh from Filippo Berry with 770 points. This is another Tinkercad 3D model. I'm not sure exactly what they added from last week, but I can tell that they've been putting in the work with, I like the, what is that, a race flag on the side. They're gonna be winning the race, and then solid brown color, can't go wrong with keeping it sleek. Again, very detailed. So I am nervous though that Ghost's boat might outwin on the durability side, but We'll come to find out.
There's only one way.
There's only one way. And in first place, we had Cat Peaches from Cabarrus Early College of Tech with 830 points. Now, I know what it looks like, and we are not biased, but I do appreciate putting in more effort to the design, so I'm sure the judges saw that as well. I mean, the structure looks great. It looks very sturdy. I hope they add some color in the next coming weeks before states, but yeah, I like how they put thought into not only the structure, but also the look of it. So congrats to Cat Peaches.
Awesome. All right, so for the last competition that we were looking at for the recap, it's Follower Frenzy Phase 4. It just ended with participants posting on the Knotwork to drive more followers to their profiles. We accounted for total social interaction and growth over the last 4 weeks. So in third place, we have Director 8923 from Olympic High with 662 points. Let's take a look at their Instagram. Red Light 199. This is my personal favorite. The funny Pokemon low res. Sorry, he's gonna correct me on that. The low res Pokemon images. Great stuff here. Love to see that he's actually still adding content. Cool. He's really keeping up with it. Perfect. Love that. In second place, we have NCVA Saturn from NC Virtual Academy with 805 points. Wow, that is loud. My volume was up. All right, so yeah, let's take a look at their YouTube here. Saturn. He's returning. There's Sid from Toy Story again. Great content on here. More subscribers now, 170. Very nice, very nice. Again, I love the style of the YouTube page. I would subscribe simply for that. And in first place, we have Becca the Destroyer from Archery Cal with 892 points, blowing everybody else out of the water in this competition. Let's take a look at their TikTok. Max and Charlotte, they have really cool videos on here all about dogs and cats. And I believe the dog's name is Charlotte and the cat's name is reverse that. The dog's name is Max, the cat's name is Charlotte. If you're looking for some comfy videos to wind down and relax at night, this is the perfect TikTok to go to. Lots of good content. If this is your kind of jam, this is the perfect TikTok to go and watch some videos that will wind you down at night. Everybody loves dogs. Dogs are man's best friend. So really cool stuff going on over here. I thank you, Becca the Destroyer, for such a great TikTok channel.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's been competing this whole season. And although it's sad to say farewell to these weekly competitions, I'm pretty excited for what's to come during playoffs in the wild card weekend. So let's get into that a little bit. And in UEFN and game building, so we'll be showing off the games. Staff will actually be playing these games more, putting both of them to the test, and we'll be evaluating them on several different things, and especially how fun it is. So I'm excited to see some different staff get their hands on these games for first impressions. And in digital marketing, our YouTube videos that you guys have been making, they'll be shown off one by one, judged by staff, and looking at the amazing statistics and analytics that you guys have been working hard for. We will be judging and giving those feedback as well. 3D modeling and printing, so excited for this one. Your boats will be printed and put to the test. So we keep talking about buoyancy, durability, stability. Why does it matter? We're printing them and we're going to put them in some water. You know, they might endure a storm and see how much cargo it can hold and a bunch of different tests. So I'm super excited to see your designs come to life in that. And finally, for the Drone Pilot Showdown, our racers are going to be live racing this time. So they've been competing virtually against each other's times throughout the whole season, but they'll actually be live in an arena racing against each other. And I can't wait for you guys to be able to see that competition so you can see what it's all about.
I can't wait to see that competition. Okay, so wildcard weekend, gonna be a great weekend, but you know what's gonna be even better? The state events. So let's go ahead and spoil our secret plans for STEM at the VESL state event, which is to be the biggest STEM event in VESL history. So you don't want to miss out on this. For UEFN, the crowd will have to overcome some of VESL's top performing Fortnite pros in a direct team versus team format in all of the different game modes that have been created by our 8 UEFN participants. If you want a shot at the VESL crew, make sure you attend this event. For robotics, teams will be programming their robotic arm to defend a goal in air hockey, where teams will take turns attacking and defending with the robotic arm. And the team that scores the most shots, obviously, wins. For game building, all teams will be playable. Did I just say teams? I meant all games will be playable in the indie game zone, available for all attendees to come over and check out all the games. Scores will be accumulated from the attendees as well as VESL staff to determine which game is the ultimate winner. For advanced digital marketing, your metrics will be reviewed by staff and your videos will be played for the crowd so that we can crown our digital marketing champion. Fun stuff. For 3D modeling and printing, the top VESL boats will be printed with a 3D printer and go head-to-head in the VESL Wave Simulator. Very scary stuff. For drones, our racers will face the most difficult challenge we have ever thrown at them, relating to drones, of course. They will be flying indoor in the indoor VESL course, head-to-head against all the other components. Not crashing means literally everything here, so I hope you guys are prepared and have been doing a really good job at Drone Racing Simulator, League Simulator. And finally, for hydroponics, our competitors will bring their aqua trees and crops to stage to be harvested and prepared in a cooking showdown. Who will have the best dish of them all? Grab your ticket and RSVP today if you want to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are so thrilled that so many of you were able to accomplish the things that you did over the past 7 weeks here in the Fall 24 STEM season. It's been a blast. I'm so happy that you guys put in so much hard work and so much dedication into the STEM League, and we're just excited to see you guys succeed. So keep up the hard work, and we will see you at the Wildcard Weekend.
Back to you guys.
Always great to hear from the STEM guys and everything else that we were able to cover throughout the entirety of this recap video. Again, Conference Championships is quite literally starting tomorrow. Excited is the only word that I have.
I'm so excited, man. And like you said, there's so much good information from our professional players in those coaching videos. I know you guys cram for your tests at the last minute. Well, I tell you what, the test is tomorrow, so you better watch some DeBuzz videos and make sure you're prepared for your matchups. So definitely watch it. This is probably the last week that we're going to have one for this season as well. New video should be airing today, so take a look at that and be on the lookout for next season as well. So there's a lot of fun stuff to look at. You guys can watch the conference championship, the wildcard weekend, and the state championship. But if you didn't make it, no worries. We got another season ahead as well, spring season. We're going to have even new games. Be on the lookout for those announcements as those get closer.
Yep, we're all diligently working here as far as the VESL office is concerned, just to make sure you guys have all the information as far as what titles you will be competing in. You should have all that information even trailing towards the end of your winter break. But that's still very far away. You got to be focusing on the now. As Eli said, the test is tomorrow. Study up. Do everything you possibly can because we want to see you at your best for conference championships and then setting yourself up for states. On behalf of everybody involved for the recap show, it has been a pleasure for week number 5. We will see you for conference championships.